Who are you? Do you even have an Instagram handle? How many followers do you have on Facebook? This is relevant. It's 2023. You got to have this stuff. Today we're going to sit down with my good friend Q Patterson, who has a company that does social media marketing and branding specifically for you as an entrepreneur to make you relevant in today's society. So I'm excited to go sit down with Q. She's going to tell you about how you can have varying levels of success by owning your own brand. Let's go check it out. Q, welcome back.
What's going on? How you doing?
So I've only done a couple of second time around folks, and I think you're the second or third, Cam.
Aw, I feel special.
Second, maybe third. I don't know. Anyways,
as long as I'm on the top 5.
Yeah. No. So we've had last time you were on here, we talked a little bit about the social media stuff. I think it was last summer or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And you've had massive growth since then. I've had a lot of cool things. Like, I love your business so much that I invested in Q's company.
It grew thanks to him.
And believe in what she's doing so much that I'm like, I love what you're doing. I want to be part of it. How can I become part of it? And I invested in Q's business. And so I think it's really important. And we're going to talk all about social media, all about personal branding, social media marketing, all these different kinds of hacks that you can implement on your own, or find a company to do it like Q's. And there's other companies that do what Q does, but they charge 2 to 3 times as much money. Or you can try to hire your own person, but you're gonna end up paying probably double what she charges and not get as good of results as what she gets.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about all that kind of stuff. But what I wanna do is I wanna hit on what's going on in all the different social media platforms. There's a lot of different things and algorithms that change and all that kind of stuff. So I'd like to hit on the five of the major ones, including Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And but before we dive into those, let's talk about personal branding. Like, why is a personal brand important? What have you seen from people, whether it's somebody that is one of your clients or not one of your clients, like what does a personal brand do for you? Like, why is that even important to have a personal brand?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a great question, and I say this all the time. It's your reputation, or your revenue precedes your reputation. So if you do not have some sort of platform or present online in this world in 2023, then you're irrelevant and
you're non-existent.
Yeah,
right. Like try. If I look up somebody and they send me a message, you know what I do? I look them up on social media. I look at their profile to see how legitimate. If they got 0 followers and 0 Facebook picture, or no Instagram, and they posted one time on Instagram, they've had an account for 3 years. It's like, I don't even know if it's a real person.
Absolutely.
I had that conversation with Juan Carlos Morales and JC, who, he hit me up. He had 107 followers or something. I was like, I don't even know if this is a real person.
Right.
But I responded to him. And he ended up coming out to one of our events and then ended up turning on his social media. And he's gotten multi-million-dollar deals from his social media because of it. Mm-hmm. Because now he's relevant, because people have seen him on social media, and there's a level of trust and a level of confidence and respect that comes with that.
Yeah, and that's how it is. So basically, when somebody's making a big decision, or a small decision, like where are we going out to eat, or where am I going to buy outfits or shop, whether it's services or products, they go online to make sure that it looks good, it tastes good, the experience looks fun, but also taking it to the next level. If I'm going to go get surgery, or I'm getting divorced, or I want to invest in a property, I want to make sure that whoever I'm going to be giving my money to, my life to, my future to is good at what they do. I could trust them. So that's where social media is, that next level of research, right? I just want to make sure that there's case studies, testimonials, that this person is actually the best at what they do.
Yeah, and the reality is reputation precedes, or I believe, the reputation of somebody else more than my own taste or my own due diligence on something, typically, because a lot of other people have already done their due diligence. And so it gives this level of credibility to an individual if they have a big social media following, if they have positive reviews and all these other things. And it's so critical. I've seen what it's done just for my own social media, my own personal brand, my own income. And by me just taking social media and turning it over from becoming a consumer of social media to being a creator on social media it's like
Yeah.
the revenue streams
Yep.
started turning on,
Yep.
and people started saying, hey, can I sell you a deal? Hey, can I buy a deal from you? Can I invest in your deals? Or do you coach? Do you mentor? Do you do that kind of stuff? And I wouldn't even have a coaching platform if it weren't for social media. And so many people saying, hey, how do you mentor? Like, can I be part of your organization? How does this happen? And it's turned into a multiple 7-figure business.
Yeah.
On accident because of a personal brand.
And how long did that take you to do? When did you start noticing from when you started to start see like conversions happening? Even if conversion could be a conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't take it seriously until 24 months ago, right? And the reality is, I was making, almost 7 figures from coaching on accident, from not even taking it seriously, not even posting every single day, not having a team. It was just me posting, and then just taking the same post and putting it on different platforms. From 20, I always kind of posted personal development stuff and things that inspired people or educated people on real estate, and that turned into boatloads of investors, boatloads of deal flow, turned into creating a brand around the coaching in 2018, where people reached out to me because they saw me posting about doing apartments. And then I really started taking the personal brand stuff seriously and hired the team that I have today, just over 24 months ago. And it's like, holy smokes.
Yeah, it's
like,
catapulted.
Yeah, and now it's just this snowball effect has come into place. And I think that's an important part of social media, people getting started in social media. It's like, you don't get rich right away, but you will see dramatic results pretty quickly. But you got to figure out, how are you going to monetize it? What are you looking for? Are you looking for deals? Are you looking for opportunities? Are you looking for investors? Are you looking for clients, coaching clients, education clients? Like, there's a lot of different ways to monetize. I would think that when somebody comes to you, you're like, hey, that's probably one of the initial conversations, right? Like, what's the result? Like, what are we looking for as a result of this?
Yeah, and absolutely, that's the biggest thing. Usually people, especially working with real estate investors, the number one question I get is, what is my ROI? So I say social media is the foundation that is mandatory for you to build an e-commerce platform. If you can't have an online program, you can't have a podcast, you can't have an ebook or whatever you want to have digitally if you don't have something to promote it through a call to action, and that's social media. That's where everything flows. So, I think the biggest thing with having a brand, though, and we're in such a super saturated world, and it's being able to delicately apply your personal life to your business life. And it's just showcasing vulnerability, showcasing who you are, your true nature, what you do for fun, what your mindset's like, what you do outside of business that creates a storyline that people can be a part of. So many people are going on and they're just posting infographics and being salesy and just trying to promote sales, when in reality, like, that it's going to get swiped right past that. So the idea is, when you work with a social media company, it does take time, but it could make it go a lot faster because you're focused on strategy, right? So we'll start from the beginning. We'll talk about, okay, what's your business look like? What's your personal life look like? Let's create a full campaign to develop a strategy where we could post for weeks on end, versus if you're doing it by yourself, you're just like, shit, what do I post today? Is this even going to work? And then it just becomes more of a burden than anything. And you're wasting your time, and you're not getting any type of return.
No, I agree 100%. And I think, to unpack a couple things that you said is, like, understanding the personal and understanding the business. People don't do business with some faceless corporation, right? Like, they want to do business with somebody that is an individual who has a life, who hangs out with friends, who goes out to dinners, who goes on vacation, who has a family, who engages with their parents, like all this different kind of stuff, where you can see what kind of person they are, right? That creates a lot of trust, and it creates a relatability factor of, like, I want to do business with people that are similar, values, core values to what I have.
Right.
And if they don't have those similar core values, I probably don't want to do business with them. Yeah. And so I think it's important to share your life. And we see people all the time, like, hey, I have a business page, I have a personal page. I get it, but the reality is,
put them together.
Yeah, I think it's more important to put them together, and
it makes you more approachable. So, like, how often people come up to you and they're like, dude, Tim, I've never met you before, but I listened to your podcast, or I saw you on social media. And number one, they come up to you because you come off approachable online. You come off easy to talk to online. Therefore, people are immediately going to walk up to you in public. If people portray themselves in a way that's unapproachable, where they're just, act like they're these big wigs making tons of money, or you have supermodels on, like influencers and whatnot, they could be like, ooh, that's so-and-so, but I'm not going to talk to them. So it's really important to portray yourself, in a humble way, in a natural way, an authentic way, in a connective way. So you could draw that virtual relationship to a in-person relationship.
Yep. And I think it's, it's like, well, I have to be like Gary Vee, right? And I got to cuss every other word, or I got to be, in your face like Grant Cardone, or I got to be this person, or have supermodels on yachts and and buy a Lambo. The reality is, no, you don't. The reality is, you got to be you.
Yeah.
And you will attract your tribe.
Exactly.
And like one of my favorite compliments that I get all the time is like, Tim, you're so authentic, you're so genuine, like you are exactly in person as you are on social media. Yeah, because like, dude, it's friggin' exhausting living a lie, right? It's exhausting trying to be somebody that you're not. You might as well just be authentic and be genuine and just be you, and you'll spin off the people who don't fit your vibe, who are not, who don't fit your core values, right? Like they're not even gonna be interested in following your story. And you're gonna attract more of the people that you want to attract, that I wanna have conversations with. Like the people that I meet through social media are friggin' amazing people, because usually they're family oriented, right? Usually we're similar age or similar background, or like we like to do similar stuff. Maybe they're not. I mean, and it's fine if they like Ferraris and Lambos and all the other stuff, but I drive a Jeep Wrangler, right? And guess what? I don't know. There's probably a dozen people in my mastermind who also have Jeep Wranglers, right? It's just, that's the kind of vibe, but that's who I attract, because that's who I am, and I don't try to be somebody that I'm not.
And it makes your life easier, and it makes making connections easier. I think one of the other biggest problems I hear when people come to me is they are nervous about what their family's going to think about them, or their friends are going to think about them from what they post on social media. And I'm like, you got to let that go. Like at the end of the day,
that's a good point.
You're making money. Like what you're doing is to make money and to set a tone and create a platform for something that's way bigger than somebody else's opinion. At the end of the day, like you said, I think Pace Morby said it, your vibe attracts your tribe, and you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. So if you could just be yourself, that's just the easiest way to do it. And that's what we do is with personal branding. We don't try to create a personality. We talk to them about what they truly do and what they believe in, and how we could add that into the branding blueprint.
I love that. Yeah. And I think worried about what other people think about you and your brand, like I don't know, I guess you could worry about that stuff. Yeah. Or like why worry about it? If you're truly leading with value, right? Like if you're leading to, I always try in everything that I do, and every post that I put out, I try to inspire, educate, or entertain.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
And really not entertain on its own unless it's included with something inspirational or something educational. Why? Because I don't know, I'm trying to lead with good intentions.
Yeah.
And if you're always leading with good intentions to help other people with their lives in some capacity, I mean, why would you worry about what other people thought about you when you're trying to help humanity?
Yeah.
And I think if you're always trying to do that, I think it's a really important part to feel good about creating content, knowing that you're going to make an impact in somebody's life.
Easy to create content. Like when you put a camera in front of my face and I have to I have to put on this hat and be this person and say this certain thing and make sure that my friends and my family all like everything I'm saying. It's going to be inauthentic, and it's not going to connect with anybody. If I put a camera in front of your face and I say, do you, be yourself, then it's so much easier. That's what people's biggest fears who are trying to get online. They're like, I don't feel comfortable speaking in front of a camera. I'm like, well, you just have to be yourself and pretend that person or that camera is a person.
And I think that's a good part, which is like, I don't try to think of who's on the other side of the camera. Right? When I'm talking to, I don't know, the person who sends me a message on social media that says, hey man, I'm trying to figure out how do I find deals. I'm trying to figure out how do I raise money. I'm trying to figure out, how do I build out my team. And I think when I'm creating content, as if I'm having a conversation with somebody, as if I'm sitting here with you, having a conversation about social media, or having a conversation about team building or personal finance or whatever. Like, here's how I would answer that question. I think if you talk to social media, talk to the camera as if you're talking to one person, then it just comes off more genuine, and it feels, as you're consuming that content, it feels like you're being talked to individually.
Absolutely. Yep. 100%.
Another thing that I think is important is, instead of trying to create content, it's just like documenting life, documenting your day, documenting your business.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, so like, I don't know, if somebody comes to you and they have, I don't know, let's talk about Chris Lamb or something in his credit business, or let's talk about Dan Rivers and his real estate business, or Caleb Pearson and his real estate business.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you know, I don't want to create content, like this is boring stuff. Well, it's boring to you because you do it all day, every day. But somebody who's not doing what you're doing all day, every day, this is like mind-boggling to them. It's super exciting, it's super intriguing, and you don't have to go out and create content. Just like, I don't know, turn the camera on and document you meeting with your contractor, right? Or you meeting with a client, or you meeting with, talking to your private money lender, assuming, you know, you're not talking anything private or confidential. But I think, like, just walk around the properties or walk around the business and interview your staff. Like, the value doesn't always have to come from you. It could come through you. You could be the medium in which value is transposed to your following, because you're interviewing your attorney or your CPA or your insurance person or your employee or your vendor, your contractor, whoever. And because they then deliver value to your audience through you and your social media channel, you get the credibility for it.
Absolutely.
It's amazing.
And that's literally how we structure our campaigns right now. So we go through an avatar building process, and we talk about what types of avatars they work with. So for example, Dan Rivers, or any investor, really, you have investors who work 40 to 60 plus hours a week, and they're living paycheck to paycheck, but they know they want to retire and they just don't know the first step to take. Okay. Then you have the doctors and attorneys and whatnot who are making boatloads of money, but don't have the time or the education or the trust factor to invest the money. So you have a bunch of people from different walks of life, but they all want the same thing. So what we'll do is we establish the avatars, and then we create a problem solution value add process. So we'll literally say, okay, what's the problem that they all experience? And then we come up with the solution, which is what they do in the day-to-day life, right? And then we'll just put two people in front of a camera and say, okay, Tim, I want you to pretend like you are working 50 hours a week, you're running a car wash, and you want to sell your car wash and start retiring, you don't know where to invest, you don't know what to do. I want you to be that client, and then I'm going to give you the advice. So you're going to ask me the question, hey, Tim or Dan or whoever it is, this is what I'm doing. I have $100,000 and I don't know what to do with it. I don't have time, I don't have knowledge, I don't have anything, and you, all of a sudden, a conversation has started. And then that content is being filmed, and there's a real life connection made, and you're touching somebody who's in that same avatar as the client that we're talking about. And then Dan or you're offering the solutions, and then we say, hey, if you're interested in connecting with us, click the link in our bio, or reach out to us today, or something like that.
And I think that's like the critical, as I kind of boil that down, it's like you're delivering value. You're helping somebody by either educating or inspiring, and you're delivering value and making deposits into that bank account. Like, you cannot withdraw from a bank account unless you put money in. And I think social media is very similar, where you got to always be putting deposits in, making deposits, and that's creating value and inspiring others and educating others and entertaining others, and keep on making deposits before you make that ask, where now you could say, hey, and by the way, I do this, or if you can help me out, go there, or buy this, or whatever that looks like. It's like, now you can make a withdrawal because the income has compounded and the interest has compounded because you've made so many deposits. Then you can make the withdrawals.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. I think it's like it's consistency. And that's the thing, people fall off the posting wagon so often because they're like, well, nothing's happening from this post. But it requires, I say it day in and day out, consistency and congruency and clarity in your brand. Like, if you're not posting almost every single damn day, multiple times a day, and you don't have a solid message, 50% of the time someone might scroll through it, but there might be that other 50% of the time where they stop and they actually listen. So you can't rely on a follower to engage in every single thing, but that's on you to just be consistent and congruent in your messaging and your efforts to post, which, when you're running a business, it's not the easiest thing to do. So, but the consistency is the most important thing. Absolutely. If you're not consistently posting, you're not relevant, because like, somebody might be on today on social media, but they might not be on tomorrow. So you post tomorrow, they don't see what you were talking about.
and then they don't come on for another 3 or 4 days or whatever, or they came on at a different time from when you posted, so they're not seeing your post.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that I had to get over is like, dude, I talked about how to find deals, right?
Yeah.
But I keep on getting
questions. How come nobody has read it? Yeah.
Right, but I keep on getting questions. Hey, how do I find deals? How do I raise money? It was like, because when I talked about it, they either weren't following me, or they weren't on social media, or the algorithm didn't show them my post that day, or like whatever it was.
Yeah.
It's like you can keep on having a lot of the same conversations or talking about a lot of those same things without, well, people have heard this before. Usually they haven't. Or even if they did, they're at a different stage in their business or a different stage in their life now where it hits them in a different angle, where now it's more relevant, or it's got a different level of relevance or different angle of relevance to them. So it's okay to have some of those same conversations.
100%. That's what in campaigns, like our clients are like, I feel like I say this all the time. I'm like, you have to. It's redundancy. And I like to use the analogy, like what brand refrigerator do you have?
Frigidaire.
Okay, so most people don't know that.
I don't know.
You go in your fridge and you open it every single day, multiple times a day, and guess what? That logo is staring you right in the face.
Yep.
And then I ask usually when people don't know
what brand they have.
But like same with a billboard. You might pass a billboard, you might drive the same way to your job every single day and pass that same billboard. But if somebody like, hey, you seen that billboard? And you're like, no, I don't see it. So
until somebody asks you, hey, what brand? And then I pay attention to it the next time I go and open
you're
my
gonna text me later today and be like, oh, Samsung.
And so but I think that's important. It's like you don't see the car. I drive it. Actually, you have a Wrangler also, right? Mm-hmm. And so like, as soon as I bought a Wrangler, like I noticed Wranglers, I liked Wranglers, and as soon as I bought one, then you got to like pay attention and wave to everybody once you have one, right? And now I'm like, holy shit, Wranglers are everywhere. And they weren't that ubiquitous before I ever bought one, but now they're all over the place. And so, to me, social media is similar, right? Like people don't even realize what they need or what they're looking for until that something gets triggered in their life or in their business. And now they're like, you know what? I'm tired of flipping friggin' houses and I want to go and start buying some commercial real estate. And then all of a sudden, that post does hit them where they recognize it, where they might not have before. The other thing I would say is like, it's like a timing thing, right? Like there's people who have hit me up. Like one dude hit me up. He goes, listen, man, I just sold my business for 8 figures. I got about $2 million I'm looking to deploy into real estate though. And I want to put it with you. I was like, what? Who are you? We've never talked before. I was like, he goes, yeah, dude, but I've been following you for 3 years. You're a family guy. I like what you stand for. I want to, invest in some deals with you. I was like, dude, you don't even know who I am. He's like, we've never talked before. And he's like, no, dude, I know exactly who you are. I know where your values stand, and I feel good about investing with you.
Yeah.
It's like,
what?
That's the power of social media. And this guy's never liked any, or not that I've ever recognized. I've never seen him like anything. I've never seen him comment on a single one of my posts. But we live in this voyeurism society where people are watching, whether we know it or not. Even if they're not engaging, they're seeing what we're doing, and they're always watching your post. They're watching all that. So that's why it has to be consistent. It has to be inspirational. It has to be educational. You got to be out there doing that stuff and being relevant and being top of mind, because if I wasn't, he would have sold that and he would have gone to the next person that was on his social media feed that he's been following for a couple years and maybe invested with them.
And that's why I say consistency is the only analytic that you should maintain. Okay, people are like, what time of the day should I post? What platform should I post on? Like, how long should it be? Should it be this shape or this shape? Like, what should I say? And there's billions of people on social media, billions. Like, everybody's going through something different. And you can't have that one clip that everybody connects with. So it's as long as you're continuing to post, then it will attract attention one day. And Vimeo, which is a video editing tool, just created this new technology. It's like with gamification. So when they create a video, they have a call to action at the bottom every single time. So they're doing all these like for an espresso, it's like, are you a advanced barista or beginner barista? And you're clicking along with it, but there's always a checkout button right at the end, because there's no way to know in the process of the video where it turns on for the client's mind that they're like, I want to buy this espresso machine.
That's a great point.
So it's always there. So that's the part. It's like everyone's like, well, what time should I post? What platform? What day? And there's general suggestions, but consistency and congruency is like my ultimate answer. It's simple.
And as an entrepreneur, we are consistently inconsistent. We're always chasing shiny objects.
Yeah.
We always have fires that we're putting out. There's things that are more urgent. As important as this is, it's not an urgent thing. And what I realize is, if I'm responsible for posting every single day, it's not going to get done.
Yeah.
Like, it just period. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So I read the book, The Who, Not the How, and that taught me, like, instead of saying, hey, this is social media is something else that I need to put on my plate, something else that I need to take on. No, it's like, who do I need to hire in order to take this on?
Yep.
So it's not me putting it on my plate, it's who do I need to hire? And, I have a big enough business where I have 2 full-time social media experts that do videography and editing and posting and reposting on all these different platforms, and they run the ads, and they run the email marketing and all those different kinds of things. And from that standpoint, it's definitely one of those, like, it's helped me stay consistent on social media. People are like, dude, Tim Bratz, man, he's a social media content machine. Well, it's not really me, right? I batch this activity on Wednesdays a couple times a month, and then the team redeploys all the content on a daily basis consistently. So, like, I'm paying hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to a social media team.
Yeah.
Right? There's also firms out there, like in New York, and I know a firm in Miami that charges $10,000 a month to do this kind of stuff. You guys charge $37.50, at least at the time of this recording, before the prices go up, right? But you charge $37.50, which is $45,000 a year, and send out a videographer every quarter, and then create content to post for the next 90 days, and then you go and get new content, and then there's videos, and you post on 5 different platforms. And I know that product is unbelievable for less than the cost of what a full-time employee would be.
And you also have a full-time digital manager.
Full-time,
so we understand exactly, like, we're geared towards entrepreneurism, but we understand that the nature of social media isn't meant to be given to a project manager to manage 50 to 100 clients. We have our digital managers max out at 10 clients. So if we have a client who's a little bit more complex, requires a little bit more attention, maybe we give them 7 or 8 clients. But we have structured our team so that their digital managers could actually really dive into the strategy and, like, make sure that the profiles that we're running have a pulse on the industry, and it's not just like a number to us.
Yeah, and I think it's like, it's one thing to post every single day, but then there's also, like, you guys engage on other accounts, right? So if you're a real estate professional, and you'll take that account and you'll go and engage on the Bigger Pockets and post on there. And so all of a sudden, people who follow Bigger Pockets are seeing your post, and then maybe coming over to your page, right?
Yep.
And then same thing with engagement on the comments and everything that are on my posts. And then also any of the messages and DMs and stuff that come in. Typically there's, like, some frequently asked questions, and you can kind of can responses on a lot of those things. Like, hey, check out this video on that. Like, how do I find deals? Well, check out this YouTube video that I just did on how to find deals. Or how do I raise money? Well, check out this. Or do you coach? Yeah, check out this website. Like, you guys will handle all those messages and then reach out to the client if it's something a little bit more customized.
Yeah, and we are constantly researching the industry. Like, that's the part when people tell me, oh, I'll do my own social media or just hire an intern. I'm like, like, as a CEO, I actually am very involved in the operations, but my number one priority is, like, okay, what's being released today, like, in the world, what's changing on all these platforms, what AI technology is out, like, what trends are changing, like, where should we adapt and change? Because truly every week I'm like, hey team, we're pivoting. This is how we used to do things. Scratch it, we're changing it. Like,
the algorithms change.
And that's like,
there's new AI techniques and strategies and technologies that can be implemented in order to do things better, faster, more engaging, following the trends that change. Like, all that stuff every single day is evolving.
Every single day.
The algorithm, right? And so, I mean, yeah, you can hire somebody for 3 times as much money, or you can hire a full-time employee who's so busy in the weeds that they're not tracking that stuff, or you can hire your firm who tracks all that, does all of it, and maintains that consistency until you grow to a point where maybe you do want to bring on somebody in-house. Or, like, what we do is I have a full-time in-house team, and then Q's company consults. And so we have them consulting and keeping us relevant on all that side of things, and she comes in, meets with the team, creates strategy, creates branding around all that stuff, and then my team goes and executes.
Well, even as a team, like, not to bring you guys into it, but like when you guys are filming and like just, we have a full-time videographer and he could only film 4 campaigns per month. We were just talking about it yesterday, where like the amount of time and energy it goes into simply filming and editing and creating the content and posting the content, that's like 2 or 3 full-time jobs. It's a lot of work. And like, you're just trying at the end of the day to get the content out there and to do your job, but then you're like, oh shit, like, what about strategy? Like, what about all the new things that are coming out? And then we have to relearn things and reapply them. It's a lot. So it's not just posting on social media anymore. It's posting with strategy and like trying to set yourself apart from the billions of other people out there. And that's just, you know, staying on top of everything.
Yep, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So what would you say is the most important thing if somebody wants to start their social media? Like, what are the key things that they got to do and stay active on right now?
Well, number one, hire Legacy Digital, obviously.
Boom.
Problem solved. But have your brand locked in first, your personal brand and your business brand. Do not just give me a business brand. I don't want to know, I don't care, right? I want to know who you are as a person and why I should trust you with your business, right? I could go online.
As a consumer, right?
As a consumer, exactly, yes. So have your brand locked in, have your avatars locked in, your cause to action, the reason why you do what you do, your call to actions, right? So that's the link in the bio, right? And if you don't know what that is, then you're really behind. We got to have a link in the bio, okay? So how are people going to get in touch with you is the call to action. Developing lead generations, building your emailing list. So that all that starts with the brand, right? You can't have a platform if you don't. It's like I'd say that the house, like you can't build a house without a foundation, and that's how I look at the brand within social media. So that's number one. Number two, if you're going to do it on your own, create a system for your own sanity. Batch your content like you do every Wednesday. I mean, you have a team that does all of it, but I know Cam, our lovely videographer behind the screen, will have a course coming out soon in Legacy Wealth Academy on, did you tell Tim? Oh,
what?
We're doing a course on Legacy Wealth Academy on how to film for social media if you can't like hire a videographer, you don't have a team. So she's going to be talking about lighting and how to like spend $100 and get like a little mic. And how to get just the basic tools that you need to structure a good shoot for yourself. Using AI. Okay, ChatGPT is, you know, one of my favorites right now. I'm learning so much about it, and it's not just going in and searching like write captions on multifamily real estate. It's strategy and how you ask those questions. So like
to do many, many different things. And shit, that's only been out for 4 months or something.
Dude,
like, can you imagine what this looks like in the next 12?
I'm excited.
60 months?
I'm excited because it's going to make social media managers like go from just posting on social media. They're going to be like consultants and strategists because AI is going to do all of the manual work now. So I would say, and then SEO, search engine optimization, social media is now a tool, like we said in the beginning, for people to find you, to learn about you, to make decisions about you. So really ramping up your captions, keywords. Also in the back of Instagram, there's alternate text. So for people with accessibility issues, if we were to take a picture right now, it would be like, the accessibility words would be like sitting in a park on a bench, Patagonia hat, Vineyard Vine shirt, leather jacket, and then all of a sudden that pops you up in the algorithm. I'll show you guys. Do you guys know how to do that? Yeah. Oh, I'll show you guys later.
Wild.
It's pretty cool. But search engine optimization, the algorithm's really focusing on keywords. So that's just like a little hack there. But yeah, I would say brand, batching your content and watching Cam's class.
Having a plan.
Having a plan, and then utilize AI to that's ChatGPT. Start with that. Play with it. It's free.
Find the who to do the how.
Yeah.
Find the who to do the what. Reach out to Q. Her company's awesome. Again, I believe so much in it that I invested in it, and I love what they have going on. And you know, the feedback from all their clients is like phenomenal. So they only take on, I think, 3 clients a month.
Yeah. So we're booked out till May right now.
Yeah.
So what month are we in? March.
March.
Yeah.
And this will be released in March. We're batching content, guys. What do you want from me? Like, it's I gotta film, and then we put it out a couple of weeks. Trying to take my own.
Yeah,
you know,
he's taking his own advice.
Take my own medicine.
He does
here,
what he says.
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. But like legitimately, we are consistently inconsistent. You got to be always posting on social media in order to be relevant. I would, my thing would be like, find someone, if you're not going to do it yourself, find someone who can go and do it for you. Whether that's hiring somebody in-house, realizing you got to take on overhead, you got to take on, payroll expenses and benefits, and them quitting and training them and measuring their performance and all the other stuff. Or you hire a third-party firm who does stuff like this. And there's a lot of them out there. I would put Q toe-to-toe against anybody else. I think that from a value proposition, you're 50% or maybe even a third of what most other firms charge.
It's getting more and more expensive too. It's mind-blowing.
Yeah, and it's because you're leading with value. I know that those prices will go up eventually, but there's that option. Or you're trying to do it yourself, but you probably have enough shit on your plate already where it's hard to do. But I think it's also important to do some things on your own phone and posting and doing stuff like that. And if you have somebody like them, they'll take that and then
we actually encourage
deploy it on all the other different
mediums. We encourage our clients. We structure the program for entrepreneurs so it's like for them to be as hands-off as possible. That's what the business is built around, but we encourage every opportunity possible for you to take candid stories, to send us content, to film as much as you can, because it makes it more natural, right?
I mean, you meet with my team far more than you meet with me.
Yeah,
100%.
Like
about our brand, about what we have going on. Like you're doing the AI meeting with them. Like, so it's not even me having to sit down at the appointments. It's you meeting with the team, training the team, and making sure that that's available. So connect with Q. We'll put her contact information in the show notes and stuff. But yeah, match up with her. She's got some really, really good stuff going on. I hope this is helpful for you guys. I'm telling you, again, social media and having a personal brand writes your ticket to do whatever you want, right? However much money you want to raise, you can do it if you have a personal brand. However many opportunities and businesses you want to be able to invest in, or properties you want to buy, or products you want to sell, or services you want to offer, or anything like that. Once you have a personal brand, it's not whether or not you're going to have success or failure. It's how big of a success do you want to be? What level of success do you want to reach? Because you will not fail if you have a tribe following you, supporting you in everything that you do, and promoting your products, promoting your offering, promoting your service, promoting you, because you have that contingent, you have those people following you, and you have that personal brand. It allows you to just take things to that next level and have varying levels of success and never worried about failure. Hey, hope you got some good takeaways from that. If you're not already following Q, make sure you're following her on social media. Watch what they're doing, right? Duplicate what's already working. Make sure you're taking things that are working for other people and implement it in your own business, in your own social media. And if you want to staff something like this out, connect with Q. Like, there's legitimately nobody better in the business at a better value proposition than what her and her company offer. So connect with her. I believe wholeheartedly in what they've got going on, that I've invested in their business. So connect with them. We'll share her contact information in the show notes. And until next time, I'll see you guys on Spill the Beans.